All right, joining me on the program right now to discuss this issue involving, two issues now actually, involving the PDP and the APC. I have here in the studio Libros Oshoma, who is a political analyst and a lawyer. And joining us from Abuja is Shola Afuye, who is a political analyst as well. Let me start with you in Abuja, Shola. The PDP asking for forgiveness, and you saw the rebranding campaign, of course, that the party launched. You think it's a new beginning for the party, and you think Nigerians would, on the basis of this seeking forgiveness now, accept this party back and accept it back, vote for it in 2019?
Well, thank you, my brother, for having me on this show. I want to start by saying forgiveness is part of our daily activity, it's part of life, it's part of human being, it's part of mankind. Even it's written in the Holy Bible and in the Quran, backed it up, that forgiveness, asking forgiveness is sacrosanct. Coming down to the political phase, PDP coming out to ask for forgiveness. The question Nigerians should ask PDP is what is the essence of asking for forgiveness? Why are they asking for forgiveness? A lot of people are misunderstanding this idea of asking for forgiveness because they've not really come down to really understand why PDP is asking for forgiveness. Number one, PDP is asking for forgiveness from the people that, look, we're sorry for allowing us, for allowing this set of amateurs coming to govern this country. PDP is coming out to say sorry that we did not handle our internal democracy very well. PDP is saying sorry that they were so insensitive not to have allowed people, technocrats, people that are having the interest of moving Nigeria forward to take over the leadership. PDP is saying sorry that, look, we'll have done things the other way around, not the way we used to do it. PDP is saying sorry that the PDP will have allowed fresh blood to take over the government. As our 2013-2015 general election, PDP will have gotten it right. If not, they are not insensitive to these things that I've mentioned. Now, they are coming all out to say, we are sorry. We have allowed this fresh blood to take over our leadership. We have allowed Nigerians to come and choose their leaders. We will have stopped imposition. We will have allowed internal democracy to take its course. These are the reasons why PDP are saying sorry. I think with the new rebranding agenda, especially the Generation Next agenda, that PDP is coming up with, it's clearly shown that PDP is ready to give the baton to the Generation Next.
Okay, Libros, let me come to you. You heard Shola there, saying with the reform agenda, it appears they're ready to pass on, because they call it the Generation Next. And then he talked about the issue of internal democracy. All of that now has been resolved in the PDP.
If not that you introduced Shola as a political analyst, I would have thought he was a spokesperson of the PDP from the way he sounded. But yes, both religion, major religion in Nigeria talks about forgiveness. But forgiveness, there are characteristics to forgiveness. What are you asking for forgiveness for? Shola is not the spokesperson of PDP, so he can't read all of those meanings into the blanket forgiveness. That's on one side. Secondly, rebranding or what the PDP did must be built on structures, on human beings, and not just, because they have done this before. If you remember, during Kwesili, there were things like this before, so we've seen it before. But the issue is, if you look at the structure of PDP as presently constituted, does it actually tally with this Generation Next and the rebranding that PDP is trying to paint to the people?
Well, the party says the majority of the members of the National Working Committee are new faces.
No, see, when you call APC what comes to mind? Muhammadu Buhari, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Oyegu. These three persons come to mind. And others would fall into line. If you say PDP today, what comes to mind? Wike, Fayose, Uche Secondus. You know, others will follow. And so PDP also is not aware that its image has been so tainted, badly battered. And so this attempt at rebranding, it's a very feeble one, if I must say. I expected this rebranding to have started before the convention. At that point, I've been one of those advocates for a PDP apologizing to Nigeria, and it must be sincere and genuine, not because election is around the corner. You just come and say, we're sorry. After all, just tell Nigerians you're sorry. The APC is not doing well, so we can always ride on that. Nigerians are more sensitive now. So in apologizing, in rebranding, you must also build the party on a plank of ideology, because Nigerians know that is missing in both political parties. And so, to that extent, before your convention, who are the faces that will drive PDP to the generation next? And these faces, are they part of the old stock that we know? Are they part of the mess that PDP has been tainted with? And so if they are part, who is Uche Secondus, for example? From 1999 to date, Uche Secondus, what you can relate him with is PDP, from state party chairman to the national and where he is today. And how did he emerge as national chairman of the party? All of these issues are going to, come to bear. And so you don't just attempt this rebranding and then expect that Nigerians would buy into it. I expected truly them to present new faces who to some extent have credibility, that can look Nigeria in the face to say, we truly are sorry for the sins of our fathers. And some of these sins are this, and that. And some of these our fathers have moved into the new party for today. But we are ready to do it differently, because we agree we are tainted, and we agree they have done it wrongly. But if given an opportunity, we are different, even though we share the same blood, but we are different, and we have learned how not to do it wrongly.
Shola, one of the problems that people have said is wrong with the PDP, and you did talk about that, the issue of internal democracy, a very big problem. We saw that play out during the last convention the PDP had. You look at the convention that brought in the current executive of the party, especially the election of the chairman, just didn't go well at all. And some people have said, look, for a party that is now preaching change, for a party that, wants to be seen differently, it just had an opportunity to have put things right, and then it messed it up.
Okay, my brother Tony, let me just talk a little about what my brother in Lagos, in the studio there, is referring to. He's trying to talk about me coming up to represent PDP as the spokesman of PDP. No, it doesn't work that way, because as far as Nigerian political space is concerned, it is a concern of every Nigerian. PDP today is not all about Uche Secondus. It's not all about the people that formed the National Working Committee today. It's not all about the people that were dead in the last 2 or 3 for 10 years. APC today is not all about those people you have mentioned, Buhari and Tinubu and what have you. The political party is a setting that is meant for the Nigerians. One generation will go, another generation will come. I should be very much interested in what goes in these political parties. That's to tell you that these are the brand of people, these are the people that leadership of this country will fall on their shoulders. I want to tell you that PDP as a party, don't let us forget particular one thing about this 16 years, misrule 16 years. I want to ask my brother over there that he should know that Nigeria is not 16 years old today. Nigeria has been in existence older than 16 years. All we are having in Nigeria today is a build-up from pre and post, independent. But today, we have seen some technocrats all the way that have come to manage it. PDP says, we are sorry for the period you've given unto us. Our problem is internal democracy. It is not now they are just coming out to say sorry. When the issue of when Makarofi was there, Makarofi has actually tendered an apology.
I'm still asking you this question, and it's relating to internal democracy. The way the convention of the party went, the last convention that brought in the current executive of the party. I mean, what's your own take on it?
Yes, I was actually driving into that quest to answer that question. I was only laying premises. The last convention PDP had, I want to tell you, I want to ask you, what is wrong with that convention? At least there was a convention. It was a family affair. Nobody from outside your family can come and tell you how to run your family. The most important thing that you cannot know the people in the family more than the people that are in the family. Whichever way that election had gone, the majority has taken the day. People are talking about the unity list. Unity list, everybody knows that at any convention, even among the technocrats, the professionals, groups, associations, when they want to have election, they know the people that understand the antecedent. They know the people that understand the core value of that association. Because of this, people with crowd, because they have to lay themselves before the delegates, and the delegates knows who they want. Because of this, you bring my delegate, I bring your delegate. We match them together.
I mean, the way you are sounding as if we are not, we do not know what actually happened during that election. The way you're talking about this delegate thing, you have your delegate, I have my delegate. I mean, we all know what happened then, but let me just pause you then there now and very quickly ask Liberos to come in. I'm going to come to you because this is not just going to be a discussion about the PDP. We're still going to talk about the APC. Liberos.
Here, quickly, because that's why, I stopped from the point of where they missed it. Because I expected that from the convention, that's where you start actually to tell the people that we are different. We're going to do it differently. And so people will actually see you doing it differently with your convention. But when it became a one-man affair, that it was almost obvious that the governor of Rivers State was the one running the affairs or dictating what should be, then it was almost as if, look, this is the same practice that we know with the political parties in Nigeria. And then you see some of the candidates now would be presidential candidate of the party shuttling between Port Harcourt and Ekiti to talk, because they know that these are the two planks of the party now. And then the issue of delegates, even before the results were out, it was obvious. Some contestants had come out to say, look, this whole process had been rigged in favor of. And then some people, even some analysts, have also argued that yes, he who pays the piper should dictate the tune. And so if we reduce and narrow all the issues about politics, about opposition, about the fact that for 15 years you didn't get it right, to the issue of paying the piper and dictating the tune again, then it means that you're truly not remorseful. Because one of the greatest problems that you had in all of those years is the fact that you're not able to identify the right people for the right position. And so you put square pegs in round holes and then they mess it up. And so it cost you your election. And then the fact that the former president, after office, was not able also to provide purposely leadership in opposition for the party also didn't help matters with the PDP. In saying this, I'm not saying the APC is better. The APC also is not faring better. They've not been able to come together to even organize a convention. The PDP had attempted. So, but I expect...
And on that note,
quickly, what I'm saying is Nigerians need to know. And the political parties should not see themselves as, oh, look, we are the only options Nigerians have. And so without us, then Nigerians now are beginning to look for other alternatives. And so they need to know that they need to put their house in order for Nigerians to see them truly as contenders.
And on that note, let's turn our attention now to the APC, Shola. You look at what happened at the last NEC meeting of the APC, where the president actually came out now to say that, prolonging the tenure of the executive of the party was unconstitutional, not in line with the constitution of the party and the constitution of the country. What's your own take on that?
Well, I will, as far as APC issue is concerned, I've come to terms that, look, once you are in charge and you don't know what it takes to take charge, you must always have problems.
But that is a problem. To take charge, how do you mean? You mean the president should have taken charge of the party?
Definitely. You are inviting gangsterism into that house because there is no fairness in that situation. At that level, when they had their meeting a month ago, when a resolution was passed to elongate, to extend the tenure of the National Work Committee down to the state and the local government, the Mr. President that happened to be the leader of that party was aware. He knew it.
Yeah, I mean, you're quite right. But he came out eventually to say, well, he had, after consulting, he thinks what happened was not right. I mean, shouldn't he be commended for that?
It was rather too late, my brother. Even a madman on the street, immediately after that motion was moved, madman on the street even condemned it. Everybody that were party members, people that were not their party members, everybody on the street condemned that approach. It was late for him. Maybe after he has looked
So you're basically saying that the president just wasted his time by saying it. It doesn't matter.
It was too late, my brother, because it was too late because as at the time that thing came up, people on the street condemned it. It was everywhere. The tendency was everywhere that this thing is not going to fly. That what led to some people instituting a court action against that motion. Even at that level of their reconciliation meeting, they had a caucus meeting before their last meeting in an attempt to reverse that particular stand. But at the end of the day, the entire process was comatose. At the end of the day, they couldn't reach a particular stand. At the level of the Mr. President's speech, trying to persuade and swing the people to his support, to his side, to make them support his own approach toward the whole Buhaha. But at the end of the day, they stampeded the Mr. President. They stampeded his motion. At the end of the day, today as I'm talking to you, the APC is in the comatose stage. They don't know what next.
All right, let me come to you.
You see, political parties in Nigeria, I say sadly, hardly learn lessons. And one of the pillars of democracy is the people, whether internally or externally. So one would have expected, because people had said this consistently, that the APC was just a marriage of strange bedfellows. The same way PDP was described while in power, because the only opposition they had then was PDP, and it's almost the same thing with APC. And so one would have expected that immediately after the election, that it would have been easier for the party and maybe the leaders of the party to come together, no matter how they came together initially, to be able to merge, collapse all their interests and ideologies into one pot and then scoop from there. But that didn't play out. It was almost obvious that it was all about appointment, about compensation, who was compensated, whose faction wasn't compensated. And so that also didn't help them to even hold conventions or hold meetings on. And now you have election around the corner. And the tenure of the executive will expire in June. And we know with the way election is played in Nigeria, that it's almost a do-or-die thing. And people would want to hold onto positions to be able to negotiate from a position of strength. And so, going into a convention now to appoint leadership in the party, if you don't manage the crisis very well, it might cost them the national election. And also the fact that
but the fact is that it will amount to the lack of internal
that
party democracy,
yes,
not to follow
that's what I'm saying.
The constitution
That's
of the party.
that's what I'm saying. And so where you have a president wanting to run for a second term in office, there's always a problem because there's going to be a lot of compromise. So I did not expect that tenure elongation. For me, it was like, let's look for an easy way out of it, in spite of the position of the party, in spite of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, even though...
So the question now is, how much, with what the president said, at the last NEC meeting, what do you expect to follow next?
See, first and foremost, I laugh when I heard the president solidly realized I expected consultation before then. You don't just go and extend the tenure. It was as if the motion was a surprise motion sprung on the president, and then it was duly passed, and only for him to go. It's like a judge delivering a judgment only for you to realize later that, oh no, I should have done this way. You consult before the decision, and that had happened, and then you come back to say, oh yes, what we did, gentlemanly.
So the question is,
yes, what was done was wrong.
Can the wrong be, let me use the word, corrected now?
Yes, now they are attempting to correct the wrong. The question should not be, can it be corrected? Can it be corrected without major bruises? Having, not done the right thing in the first place. Can it be corrected at this time without major bruises? Because this is the question,
yes,
it can be corrected.
Not correcting the wrong, and then they have a court case.
Yes.
We don't know how that court case, what the fallout.
That's where the problem is. That's why I said, can it be corrected without major bruises? If you correct, because mind you, even at the meeting, you have senior advocates on this side and senior advocates on the other side. We learned that Moise Banire and Akeredolu argued in favor of the extension, while the president and the vice president and the attorney general, were against it. And so, even if tomorrow you decide, let's correct the wrong, like they are trying to do now, some persons are still going to go to court. And then you have elections around the corner. And now you're trying to reconcile every party, every member. So that's why I say it's a very difficult one. It's a dicey one.
Well,
they ought to have done this.
They must look for a way to...
Yes, they must look for a way.
Anyway, but gentlemen, I have to thank you both for coming on the program. Shola Afuye from Abuja, thank you very much for coming on the program. Thank you very much for your contributions. And Libros Oshoma, thank you very much, as always. We'll take a short break now, and when we come back, we'll close things up. On DEJI360, we don't just ask the questions. What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
Constitution is constituent.
Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dollars that call themselves governors in this country?
I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly.
God forbid that I go to join that planet.
DEJI360, providing clarity to issues.